Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be appealing to some of the custom model and collector fans because today we're going to be talking about some of the ride models available from Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which for those of you who might not know is a theme park in the northwest of England. And of course, to be able to actually buy these you'll need to go onto the following link for the official Blackpool Pleasure Beach merchandise site. So let's get into the train models. So these include a small sort of model of the track and also the train, and there are currently two available. And the first one is the Wild Mouse model, which is a popular classic wooden Wild Mouse roller coaster, which was unfortunately demolished after going into standing but not operating in 2017. And of course, that demolishment was, followed through with in 2018. So the cost of this model is £35, and it does come with two different things. So it comes with the Jerry train and track, and for those of you who don't know what the Jerry train is, basically it's one of the named Wild Mouse trains, and that was just one of the names. And of course there is a little plaque on the front of it that says Jerry and Blackpool Pleasure Beach on the front of it. There is also a box with a certificate of authenticity, and also on the website there is a warning that it is in fact fragile. So of course they do pack it to the best of their ability. It comes in its nice little box. I'm not too sure what the box looks like, whether or not it's just a plain white box like a lot of their other merchandise will come in, or if it's a specifically themed one so you can display it in its box, but I'm not too sure about that. And here, of course, is that train and track design. And of course, it does come with the lap bar detailing and also the seat. And it is actually incredibly accurate, I must say. It's a really nice design, and also when you look at it, it looks like it is potentially ceramic. It does say it's like a sort of ornament, but I'm not too sure if it's 3D printed or not, but chances are it's kind of like a glossed over 3D print plastic. But all of these models are actually really high quality. Of course, this one is the newest of them. But of course, they are all really great quality. And the next one is, of course, the INfusion model. That costs a hefty £100, so you will need to dig deep into your pockets for this one. And there isn't too many die-hard fans for INfusion because of how rough it can be. I'm not too sure, the popularity of this item. It also comes with a scaled model of the train and also a piece of the track. Of course, it is a suspended looping coaster, and of course, it will come with all of that cool little track and detailing on it. And there is also no certificate of authenticity, so if you did quite like the idea from the Wild Mouse model, it doesn't come with that. And also the model does look to be more robust. There is no warning on fragility, and it is also a really nice model I've actually found. It's a decent size as well, and of course the detailing is, of course, as per usual with all of the Blackpool Pleasure Beach merchandise, very, very nice. And of course there was a few other train models. There was an Icon one at one point, but that seemed to have disappeared even though it's not been out for that long. But the INfusion train is also very nice, and it's got some very lovely details. Next up is the Build It Yourself. This is another one of the new merchandising models, and this is, of course, the Ice Blast Drop Tower. So the cost of this will be £35, and before you buy, you should probably know this following information. Of course, you do have to build it yourself, as the title suggests. You will need glue. You'll need to glue the model with clear super glue because, of course, if you do, glue it with any other colour, it would stick out. And it also advises to use small amounts of it, and you cannot use poly cement, which is obviously quite popular with model makers, because it's decently fast setting and it's very strong. But this advises to use super glue, and there is also instructions. So if you're a bit confused on, how to put it together and all the different parts, it's got all of that in the manual. And it does also contain around 10 pieces. I believe it has one extra that they haven't shown in the picture because, of course, I'll get around to that in a second. You have, obviously, the tower itself, which contains about 5 pieces in all. And, of course, it is an approximately, so they advertise 210-foot tower, but I believe, in truth, it's actually under that, because I believe they did go for sea level as well, similar to how they advertise a big one. and I believe it's something like 165, correct me if I'm wrong. There is also the station and the foliage, which is of course accurate to real life, and there is some queue detailing on there as well. There is also the ride train, and that's the thing that they don't, sort of display in the building pictures, because if you go on the website, it shows all the different stages of construction, and that is the only one that it doesn't show separate, it only shows it in the final result picture. So I'm not too sure if you can move it up and down and things, so you can decide where you want the launch train to be. But it is actually a pretty nice model, and I suppose for those people who are very big fans of launch and drop towers, this would be a really great one. And it does actually look pretty nice as per usual, and it is an accurate model, although I would have liked to see on the tower head the Union Jack on it, which is the usual thing that's there, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Then, of course, you have the Resin and Nano coaster models. For the Resin models, of course, you have the Revolution model weighing in at £4.95 and the big one model, and that is similarly £4.95. And these are actually not that bad for their price, although, they do look better in real life than on the pictures displayed on the website, and they are very neat little souvenirs for how much you pay. And I would definitely, if I had a nice desk, put one of them there because they are very nice. And of course, it's each their own. Not everyone likes coaster models. You might want a snow globe or something else like that on your desk, but of course these are great options for souvenirs, especially for kids as well. I find I find a lot of younger people picking these up whenever I see someone do so. I definitely think that it's very an appealing thing for them. So, of course, here is the Revolution one. On the back, it does say the Europe's first 360-degree looping coaster, or maybe it might say the world's, because I believe it is as well. And then, of course, you have the big one where it talks about on the back the speeds exceeding 85 miles per hour. I believe the top recorded speed ever on the big one is in fact 90 miles per hour, so that's quite impressive for this roller coaster, given that it is nearly 30 years old at this point. Then for the Nano coasters, you have the big one Nano coaster, which is £29.95, and then Icon, which is the same price. I really, don't mind the Nano models, but of course, I've only ever seen the Icon one, in fact. I haven't seen the big one yet. And there is no pictures of the finished model either. So, I'll display one that is, a generic one. So it does require self-assembly, of course, and it does have some sharp parts to it, so it's not recommended for anyone under 14, but I suppose if you have a steady hand and you're maybe 12 and over, then it might be an appropriate thing. But that being said, these are very much for the coaster enthusiasts who very much like accurate ride layouts to be displayed. And these are actually quite popular with American theme parks. They're more of, an American type of thing, having Nano coasters available. I'm not too sure about other European theme parks, but definitely this has seemed to be a good idea for the park because, of course, a lot of their ride models are very nice and they've held up with this. So, of course, here is a picture of a Nano coaster. Basically, it's a thin plastic model that basically displays the main layout of the ride. Some of them include the stations or even like a sign on it. But yeah, the ones for the Pleasure Beach are meant to be very nice and easy to assemble as well. And you can obviously pick them up inside the park. The only place I've seen them in, because I don't really pay too much attention to the ride models, they're not exactly my cup of tea. I've only ever seen them in the Kiss Me Quick shop, the Nano coasters, because they're usually not on display as much, but you can definitely see them in the Kiss Me Quick shop, which is underneath the flying machines by the main entrance of the park. And yeah, certainly, these are some great little things to put on your desk if you're a coaster enthusiast, for sure. Of course, the tray models definitely are too. They're just a little bit bigger than the Nano coasters and the Resin models. But, all of these are incredibly nice pieces of merchandise. And yeah, that's really it for this video. I really do hope you've enjoyed it, of course. I really do hope that the collectors of you who haven't really known about what models are available from the Pleasure Beach, because of course, not too many theme parks in the UK or even Europe do very many models. It's very much an American thing to have souvenirs of a specific roller coaster that displays a roller coaster itself, right, as opposed to, like traditional UK merchandise, which is usually hoodies and t-shirts and maybe a badge or something like that. And I do think these models are actually really nice. They're all very high quality and also incredibly accurate to the roller coasters themselves. And it is always a shame that Wild Mouse is no longer here. But of course, for those of you wondering, at the minute, the Wild Mouse car is unavailable. It's out of stock. It basically immediately sold out. There is none of them at the minute, but they will definitely be coming back into stock soon because everybody loves a bit of Wild Mouse, and of course if it's sold out it will probably sell out again. So when it does come back in stock, you might want to order it as soon as it comes back, but there is no option to put in for a notification when it does. So yeah, that's really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, this was just talking. Bye bye.